In 1970, a factory worker at Ford Motor Company in Detroit earned $3.50 an hour and could buy a brand new Ford Mustang priced at $2,872 after 821 hours of labor. The purchasing power of that paycheck meant 8 months of work bought your father his dream car. That same assembly line position today at Ford, General Motors, or Stellantis pays around $22.89 an hour. But the 2025 Ford Mustang costs $32,515 and requires 1,421 hours of work to afford. Nearly 15 months of identical work barely covers yours. The math exposes what the economy prefers, you never calculate. Inflation doesn't explain this gap. Bureau of Labor Statistics data and the Consumer Price Index show that $2,872 in 1970 equals roughly $22,880 today, meaning the actual Mustang price lands nearly $10,000 beyond what inflation alone would predict. Real wages did not shrink gradually. Purchasing power vanished in chunks between generations, while nominal wages created an illusion of progress. August 15, 1971 marks the origin point. President Richard Nixon announced that US dollars would no longer convert to gold. That move severed American currency from any tangible anchor for the first time in history. The Federal Reserve's monetary policy shifted fundamentally after the Bretton Woods system collapsed. 2 years later, in 1973, the oil crisis arrived. OPEC tightened supply, and stagflation gripped the economy as wages began separating from productivity in ways economists still argue about today. The Economic Policy Institute measured that separation across 5 decades and found the numbers damning. Productivity among American workers climbed 80.9% between 1979 and 2024, yet compensation rose only 29.4% over the same stretch. Had paychecks tracked productivity the way they did for your grandfather's generation, median hourly wages would hover well above $30 instead of the current $24.75. That gap represents wealth that transferred upward without anyone filing paperwork. Comparing cars across generations transforms abstract numbers into something you can feel. High school teachers in 1985 earned roughly $11 an hour on a national average basis. Toyota had just started selling the Camry in America that year, and the base model had a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $9,748. A teacher needed 886 hours to drive off the lot in a reliable Japanese sedan built at Toyota's Georgetown, Kentucky plant. By 2025, teachers earn about $29 an hour nationally, and the Toyota Camry costs $28,400, which translates to 979 hours of work. Teachers represent one of the rare job categories that roughly maintained purchasing power against mid-range vehicles, though even they lost ground. Factory workers at General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler experienced a different trajectory entirely. Assembly line wages in 1985 averaged $12.50 an hour, and the Ford Mustang cost $7,345 that year. The math works out to 588 hours of labor for a V8 muscle car, the lowest ratio in the Mustang's entire production history. American auto workers had reached peak purchasing power against American vehicles, and a single factory income could genuinely fund what politicians called the American dream. Everything collapsed after that peak. Ford and General Motors shipped production overseas throughout the 1990s, automated assembly lines eliminated positions, and wage growth stalled while executive compensation exploded. By 2000, assembly workers earned $16 an hour as the Mustang climbed to $16,520, pushing required hours to 1,033. The 2025 numbers tell the final chapter: $22.89 an hour against a $32,515 sticker price means 1,421 hours of labor, nearly 2.5 times what workers needed during 1985. Honda Civic buyers watched their affordable option disappear through similar math. The 1975 Civic cost $2,799 when Honda marketed it specifically to working families seeking economy transportation. A factory worker earning $3.75 an hour needed 747 hours to own one outright. The 2025 Honda Civic starts at $24,650. demanding 1,077 hours at current median wages. Economy cars stopped being economical somewhere along the way. Pickup trucks exposed the collapse most dramatically because working people depend on them to earn income. Farmers, contractors, and tradesmen in 1975 could buy a Chevrolet C10 for $3,952, requiring 1,054 hours of labor at $3.75 an hour. The 2025 Chevrolet Silverado starts at $36,500, translating to 1,595 hours at $22.89 hourly wages. The truck that literally built American infrastructure now sits beyond reach for the workers who swing hammers and haul materials. These calculations all assume base models without upgrades. Cox Automotive reported that the average new car transaction price in December 2024 reached $49,740, which translates to 2,173 hours at median wages, more than a full year of labor for a single vehicle. Financing stretched the pain across longer timelines without reducing it. Average monthly car payments hit $734 in 2024, according to Edmunds, with loan terms extending to 68 months on average. Americans now spend nearly 6 years making payments on vehicles their parents could have purchased in months of focused saving. The market responded predictably to unaffordable prices. Edmunds' data shows a majority of Americans cannot afford the average new vehicle, so people hold on to aging cars longer. Average vehicle age on American roads reached 12.6 years, a record that keeps climbing. Auto loan delinquencies are approaching the levels of the 2008 crisis. Used car prices jumped 35% since 2020 as buyers fled the new market. Ford, General Motors, Toyota, and Honda all point to legitimate cost increases. Modern vehicles contain airbags, backup cameras, crash-optimized frame structures, infotainment systems, computerized engines, and emissions equipment that did not exist in 1970. The semiconductor shortage between 2021 and 2023 disrupted production at every manufacturer, from Ford to Toyota, including Tesla at its Fremont, California facility. Supply constraints pushed prices higher across the entire industry. Every word of that explanation is accurate, and none of it addresses why wages failed to keep pace with those rising costs. UAW President Shawn Fain captured the core problem during September 2023 strikes against Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis when he argued that the cost of living had increased dramatically while wages failed to keep pace. Those strikes won 25% raises, pushing union assembly workers toward $28 to $35 an hour over the contract period. Non-union workers at Toyota's Georgetown plant and Nissan's facility in Smyrna, Tennessee saw smaller increases in response. The victories matter, but they do not reverse the damage. Even UAW workers earning $35 an hour need 929 hours to afford the 2025 Mustang, which still exceeds the 588 hours a non-union worker required back in 1985 by 341 hours. Strikes clawed back ground without reclaiming the territory lost over 4 decades. One calculation captures the full generational shift. A factory worker in 1985 bought a Mustang after 588 hours of labor. Working those same 588 hours today at $22.89 an hour generates $13,459 before taxes. The 2025 Mustang costs $32,515. After matching his father's sacrifice hour for hour, today's worker still owes $19,056. That $19,056 gap represents purchasing power that transferred between generations without inheritance paperwork, without consent, without most people even noticing until they tried to buy a car and realized something fundamental had broken. The pattern repeats across housing, healthcare, and education with similar math. Cars make the comparison visceral because American identity wrapped itself around vehicles for a century. Factory workers in 1970 Detroit could reasonably expect to purchase a Mustang, own a modest home, and raise children on a single income. That same position today requires 2 incomes to afford a sedan and an apartment. The Bureau of Labor Statistics data shows that real wages for typical workers have grown far slower than productivity since the early 1970s. The gap between output and pay is not a small technicality. It is a lived reality for millions. 5 decades of wage suppression compressed into bureaucratic language. Productivity gains that should have lifted all workers instead concentrated at the top, leaving median earners running faster to stay in place. Your grandfather's hours bought a Mustang and a house. Your father's hours bought a Mustang and stress. Your hours buy a used Civic and questions about what happened to the American dream. Numbers require no ideology to interpret. 8 months of factory work in 1985 purchased a new Mustang outright. 15 months of identical work today leaves you short by thousands of dollars. That machine looks similar. Ford's badge remains the same. Sacrifice doubled while no one was counting. That isn't inflation adjusting naturally. That isn't progress requiring patience. That's a system that moved goalposts while an entire generation was taught to keep running toward them.